welcome back to another EDH video. I thought I'd end the year, this year 2021. What a crazy year, and also a crazy year for Magic as well. Yeah, I thought I'd end it off just talking about some of my favorite black cards that have come out this year. You know, if you've seen a lot of my videos, you know that I'm a big fan of black. I love talking about all the black cards. Playing with a whole bunch of them have come out this year. I think this year has been a real fun set for Commander. I think there's been a lot of different archetypes that black has added to. Probably my favorite sets might be Kaldheim. I really like the theme and flavor of the deck, yeah, it's been it's been quite fun. So I thought, yeah, I'd do a top 10 of black cards that I really enjoyed playing with, that I really liked, that I felt were powerful or fun, or just overall great black cards that came out this year. So as per normal top 10 lists, I will start with my honorable mention. So first up, we've got Baleful Mastery. So Baleful Mastery has been a really interesting card. I think that it's kind of on the cusp of being good or playable, really depending on I guess what your deck is looking for, but I found that the student cost, the one in a black, to just exile a creature or planeswalker, has been it's been cheap. It's just cheap enough. One in a black is kind of that removal spot where I don't really want to pay much more than this for a removal spell, but it does exile, and it is target creature or planeswalker. So, you know, you've got things like Murder, which is an additional black to cast, you know, and people don't really play that. I don't play that. So this has exile on top, and it's one cheaper. The caveat is that you have to give your opponent a card draw. I've really found this to be mostly negligible. There have been some occasions where it has resulted not well for me, but usually I will target the player that is behind the most, whose card draw is irrelevant to my game plan. Maybe I'm going off anyway next turn and I need to get rid of something that's in my way. I found it really, mostly negligible. So I've been really happy with this one, I think, and paying for this effect, although I don't want to. Sometimes, I have, and that's okay. I've got nothing else going on. That's probably more of my deck building and tweaking, and I need to, kind of minimize those kind of situations. But I think the two to do this is just right, I think, and it's been good. It's been good in terms of politics, something that I'm not particularly good at. So it's been nice to have something that starts that conversation. So that's my honorable mention. So we'll get into the top 10 of this year, 2021. So first up, Pact of the Serpent. So 1 and 2 black for this effect. So Distant Melody is the blue spell that does this, but you don't lose life, and it's 3 and a blue. So just having this in black has been really nice. We've had a lot of tribal updates this year, particularly zombies, vampires. Kaldheim had black green elves. So there's been a lot of tribal or black tribal that have really kind of messed with this year. So I really liked it. It's 1 cheaper than Distant Melody. 4, it sometimes gets a little bit too much, but 3 for this effect seems just right. Losing the life is often negligible or advantageous sometimes. So, in those life gain type strategies. This has been really nice, but you know, I've been using this a lot in vampires and a lot in zombies, and have really liked it in both. I think it really deserves a spot in either. You know, 3 mana, draw 5, lose 5. Yeah, that's okay. But it can be quite more. You need to obviously manage this effect, but you know, I've liked it in my tribal decks, which is why it kind of gets a top 10 spot. All right, next. All right, Lord of the Forsaken. I've been in love with this card ever since I saw it. I've been really trying to make this work, trying to find a spot for it. Things like Chainer, Nightmare, Adept, although that's not a black deck, obviously, but you know, it's really nice there. I've just really enjoyed this. Just paying the 1 life, you know, it's just, who cares? Like, it's just mana ramp, as long as it's something coming out of our graveyard, we're casting out of graveyard. Although, you know, you need to really build around this effect, or it really needs to go in a deck where you want this effect. But I really liked it. It also has that mill and sacrifice outlet, although this is an expensive card for that kind of effect. So really, I'm only interested in the pay 1 to, you know, cast those spells out of the graveyard. If you're not really doing that, I don't really see this being a playable card, but it's just so powerful, such a powerful effect. So, you know, number 9. All right, next, Stinging Study. Love this card. Another one that I kind of fell in love with straight away. I love the art. I love everything about it. The lore, what the card's kind of suggesting is happening to the characters in the art. So, you know, really love that when I first saw it. It's instant, so really nice to kind of hold up that mana. 5 mana. I thought this was a lot when I was first kind of testing it, but then realized that holding up the mana, the fact that it's instant speed, has made it really nice. And there's so many lose life effects and synergies that I care about in my black decks. You know, my Villas Broke of Blood, which I did a video on recently, has just really loved this. Any commander that's, you know, 5+, I've kind of just put this in. You know, Liesa, the old one, the one that came out, Commander Legends, you know, has life gain, so you can put that, although, you know, again, not a black mono black deck, but white and black. You know, anything with life gain, you got a bit of life gain going on, and you got a 5+ commander. Have loved this. You know, instant speed, just get almost a whole new hand. Great. All right, next, Rise of the Dread Marn. This one has been a sneakily great card. I don't see this one being played too much. So the foretell. So really, this is foretelling it, setting it up. I find that the 2 mana can be squeezed in a lot, and then just holding up that 1 black mana on later turns has been really nice, because I like games that have board wipes. I like interactive games. So having the board wipe in hand, or having my opponents with a board wipe, and then it come to my turn and I have a full set of zombies. Really nice. I found this to be, yeah, just super fun. A great gotcha card. A great, like, oh, I don't care about when a board wipe comes. Just holding up that 1 mana has just been really easy in most cases. So just having it as a board wipe protection, I don't put this in a lot of decks unless I have a deck that's wanting to be aggressive itself, it wanting to swing out, or, you know, I put it in my zombie deck, for example. So I've been really enjoying this card. I think it's great for any kind of board wipe protection. All right, next, Okay, number six. Number six. Sorry, I had to look that one up. Okay, Wand of Orcus. When I first saw this card, I was like, this card is way too expensive to equip. Just way too expensive. It does a lot. So when the equipped creature attacks, it or blocks, it gains Death Touch as well as any other zombies that I have gain Death Touch. And whenever it deals damage to a player, it's going to create that much zombies. So, and I was just like, 3 to equip this, 3 to cast this. This is crazy. Like, I'm just never going to equip this. But when you do, and you swing out, and you hit a player, wow, just wow. I think you really need to build around this card. I did put this in a zombie deck, just thinking, okay, this is great, I'll just put it in my zombie deck. And I just didn't do anything. I was swinging with these 2-3 zombie lords, and it just felt a bit flat. But you put this in a Voltron deck, or an aggressive commander deck, you're really gonna love this. The biggest weakness of Voltron is, you need sacrifice fodder, because your opponents are going to sacrifice, cause you to sacrifice, and you don't want to be sacrificing, obviously, your built up commander. But you stick this on a Voltron, and it just gives you an instant army. And that instant army can start blocking, and also start attacking. And you just keep hitting and hitting and hitting. You get unblockable, you get fear, you get all those cool effects, and you have an instant board. So I really, really like this. Don't put this in a zombie deck. Put this in an aggressive commander-centered deck. Ones that preferably have something that can cheat the equip cost, and it's even better. Okay, top 5. It's my boy, Asmodius the Archfiend. I have loved this card. This card is probably the most boring card on this list. But if you want to draw cards, this is your boy. Just great. Like, the 3 black to draw 7 cards is just so good on rate. This is like Necropotence, obviously. I've been taking Necropotence out of my deck, it being too powerful, I believe, for the kind of level that I'd like to play at. But this, so much fun. Just drawing so many cards. It looks like a not very interesting card to your opponents. It's just drawing cards, whatever. But when you sink so much mana into drawing these cards, and then you just, on your turn, just have a full grip, feels good. You got 20 cards going, it's great. I've never really been a combo player, so Asmodeus doesn't really tell you how to win, like other cards, so it really does open up to combo. And I've never really been a combo player before this one, so I did really enjoy that journey, but just drawing so much, you need to ramp a lot, you need to draw a lot, and really build a deck around this. I found that this didn't really go into too many decks unless you cared about the activated abilities, of course. But outside of that, it didn't really fit. Like, I'd put it in, a deck, and it's just there for some value. Like, I was putting it because I was taking Necropotence out, and I was just like, this just doesn't work in those circumstances. So it's either you care about the activated abilities, because you're a Necrotic Ooze deck or something, or you build a deck around it. And this has been by far my favorite deck of the year. I love talking about it. All right. Next, number 4, the Meathook Massacre. This one was just an instant hit. Like, this one was just so obvious. You know, it has the versatility where it's a bit of a board wipe. You get to choose the cost. You know, you get to sink that mana into it, so it can get expensive. You know, if you want to languish people, you're going to pay 6 for it. But on top of that, you get these, you know, kind of Blood Artist style effects where, or Zulaport Cutthroat effects, I guess, where your creatures that you're sacrificing off are, you know, starting to hit your opponents, and then your opponent's obviously dying, has given you some life. So it's kind of got that split effect, but it's just so versatile. You know, I play this in my Aristocrats deck, and it's just been really, really good. I can kind of wipe my board, but keep some of my bigger stuff around, as well as then have that kind of Blood Artist Silverport Cutthroat effect on board, just sitting there. It's an enchantment, so it's a bit harder to get rid of as opposed to a Blood Artist, but essentially I want as many effects of this as I can in an Aristocrats deck, and this is just another one. All right, top 3. Yes, top 3. All right, Grim Hireling. This has been a really, really fun card. I didn't think too much of it at first. You know, Magic has really been quite treasure focused lately. There's so much treasure synergy going on. In Black, it's a bit harder, but essentially this kind of just goes into those strategies that I do like to play. I do want to swing out at my opponents. I want to swing out as many of them as I can. So getting 6 treasures a turn just feels really, really nice. Now, of course, obviously, you know, people can block and things like that. So, you know, it really depends. But if you are going wide enough, this is really, really great. You know, you swing out at each opponent, you then get 6 treasures. You can then play something to the board because you've swung out. You might be defenseless, but you can then play something to the board to help protect you. So yeah, just the treasure synergy. You can, yeah, it's just quite a lot. Really, really great ramp. The threat of activation on this sorcery activated ability, it's come up, but it's not too relevant. It's just that I want to be getting as much treasure as I can in my Vampire Tribal deck. I've even put this in and played around with it, but really you want to be as wide as possible for this, preferably like some flying tokens or something. At the moment I'm trying to build a Thalis Revenant Medium deck, and I've got this in there, so you know, Flying Spirits is quite nice for something like this. So really, really powerful card. I just really like the treasure. I think it's a great ramp. All right, number 2, Tergrid, God of Fright. Very, very controversial card. I don't think that you can really make a top 10 list without having this on it, unless your top 10 is cards that people love. Then this wouldn't obviously make that list. I love Tergrid, God of Fright. I love playing with. I love playing against. I think the whole game gets warped around this card. As soon as my opponents play it, everything is about this card. So, you know, I want to play those kind of interactive threat high kind of games anyway, so it really works for my playstyle. I understand that it's not for everyone, but just super powerful, getting stuff out of people's hands and onto your side. There's not much that I can say about this that everyone probably hasn't already said, other than I think that maybe if you don't like this card, you know, maybe think about what it means to have fun playing Magic, and then maybe you come around. I don't know, but I think this is a really fun card to play against. I think it really changes the game, and I think that's fun. But obviously, you know, some people like to play Battle Cruiser. not really for me. But yeah, just super powerful. Love this card. Number 2 on my list, which might, be interesting to some people. My number 1, I think that this card is ultimately just generically powerful and just fits in a lot of decks. So my number 1 being Dauthi Voidwalker. So probably not a surprise to some people in terms of this is just a generically powerful card. So it's cheap. It's only 2 mana to come down. So it comes down super early. It's graveyard hate. It's essentially unblockable. And, it's going to get you those nice, juicy spells from your opponents. They're going to be playing their cards. Doesn't really stop people from playing cards. There have been some occasions where an opponent might comment that they don't want to play it because they don't really want to give it to me, obviously. But that's really far between. It really hasn't stopped people. People are greedy. Hasn't really stopped people. So this has been a lot of fun to play with. It fits in a lot of decks. Now, often I try to avoid not having really synergistic cards in my deck. Normally, cards that are not synergistic will make the deck and then will be kind of the first to be cut when I'm just like, this just doesn't really work for the theme of what's going on in this deck. But Dauthi Voidwalker is one of those cards where it's generically powerful. It fits in a lot of strategies. It doesn't really lend to any witch strategy, especially ones that I've been playing lately. But it just is proactively powerful rather than, say, reactively powerful. Sometimes these get kind of pigeonholed into, they don't fit and they're kind of waiting on my opponents to do something. But, in a normal game of Magic, your opponent's going to do something. So, and this doesn't stop them enough. So it continues the game going, and then you're eventually going to get value. Now, if you care about anything on this card, then it's just an auto include. I've been playing this in my Liliana Heretical Healer deck, and just having it sacrifice itself to flip into a Planeswalker has been very, very good. And then everything else is just generically good. So if you care about anything on this card, then it's an auto include. Other than that, just put in your decks just for graveyard hate and to get some value possibly. So yeah, I've been really happy with this card. I've been really happy with the black cards that have come out this year. They've been a lot of fun. I've made a lot of decks with them. They've really added to everything that I've been building. So great on you, Watsy, for doing some fun cards. I look forward to some more fun cards in 2022. Thanks for listening to my top 10. Let me know if there's anything that I've missed or you thought might have been great for this list as well. Hopefully I've also played with them, so I'll be able to give some comment hopefully. Great. All right. Well, happy holidays. I'll see everyone hopefully next year. Thanks.